Okay. This is the first day of my rut hunt this year out here on this public land. It's November 4th. It's in the 30s. Real cold when you're not used to it, but I haven't seen anything. It's been an hour after daybreak and deer aren't moving. They were moving good. I saw them everywhere driving out. But I haven't seen a thing since I got set up in this woodlot. This is not my primary location. The wind was wrong for that today, but with this cold front come through and drop the temperatures like that, I couldn't stay out in the woods. Right nice sized doe. She walked right up here underneath me and spotted me. But she didn't have her boyfriend with her. Maybe someone will follow her trail down in here a little while later. Well, my wind shifted. I'm gonna have to climb down and get out of here real quick.
Wow, that wind shifted and I wanted to get out of there right quick. That spot looked a little better than I thought it was going to. I got out there this morning because the wind wasn't right to get into that spot that I scouted with all the bucks on last week. And I wanted to get out here in the field. It's November 4th and the rut's probably starting to get pretty interesting at this point. I just didn't want to sit there. All those does I saw creeping back into that thick stuff to bed. That's the kind of spot that can really pay off when the buck starts seeking. It's about 100 yards off a field, and there's an opening with some hardwoods and some oaks, and it's on the edge of real thick cover, and you could tell that I watched all the does slipping back in there to bed this morning. I saw 4 or 5 of them moving back in there, and I don't want to spook them out of there because the bucks aren't quite with them yet. It's only November 4th, and that's the kind of place you want to hunt downwind, on the downwind side of that thick stuff once the bucks actively start seeking does. And the bucks will work the outside edge of that cover right along the back downwind side of that thick stuff and try to wind hot does back in there in their beds. So that's a spot I'm definitely going to be back at in a couple days. It didn't really look all that good at first.
Okay, so I'm back on some public land. It's the evening of November 5th. The bad news is I was not able to get back in where I saw those does yesterday morning. The good news is the wind is perfect for coming back in here where I found all those heavy rubs. I'm going to try and see if I can't catch this buck coming out of this thick stuff over here this evening. Since I scouted this though, that area that was rubbed up has flooded, and there's actually good too because it has slimmed down the area the deer has to walk. The swamps come back in the woods further. I can hear the wood duck squealing, but there's a new scrape right here near where the trail comes out into the open woods. So I'm gonna sit back, get real quiet, and see if I don't see him try to slip down this trail tonight. had a spread on. I was thinking about it. That's probably the deer I scouted back in here. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Came out of that thick stuff right down the trail. Checked the scrape. Kept on going down the trail. If he'd have turned broadside, I'd have probably taken a shot. He got me all shook up. Passed me about 25 yards. Maybe a bigger one will come.
Oh, that was an exciting hunt. And that's that area that I scouted about a week ago. Got back in there and scouted it in the video, scouting pre-rut bucks. Those tactics work. That buck did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He followed the script. He came out of the thick stuff, came down the trail, hooked around, and checked his scrapes and moved off straight down his rub line. I tell you what, I'm kind of glad he quartered into me when he came around the corner into my lane, because this area gets a lot of pressure, and he was a decent buck. He was probably 2.5 years old. He had a rack with a decent inside spread, and on this area you don't see a lot of racked bucks with good spreads on them. And I'd be happy taking any buck off of this particular area that had a rack like that, whether it's 4 points or 8. So that's one thing you got to do. When you're hunting a rut, yes, the bucks will come out of the woodwork, but don't get your expectations too high. The bucks will be out and about, but you're not going to get a shot at a huge whitetail buck that simply isn't there. So keep your goals realistic for the areas you're hunting on.
Just a little bit before sunrise on November 13th. 60 degrees 2 days ago. This morning it's 24. Had a real strong front come through and switched the wind around. Hunted a private land yesterday, only saw some small ones. So I got in here on the downwind edge of this bedding thicket where I saw the does last week. Should be coming through the chasing phase to the tending phase. The buck should be with the does, so I'm hoping to catch some back in here. Hope I can stick it out. We got this big full moon now. It's been killing the activity during the day. We'll see what happens. Maybe this cold air will get them on their feet.
Well, I made it till about 10:30, and the heated seats here in the truck were calling my name. It was cold out in that tree stand this morning out there in the low 20s, and it was slow too. After I saw those 2 deer run by way off in that field, about 7, I didn't see anything else. I couldn't even get the camera on those. And I don't know if they'd been jumped by another hunter or if it was a buck chasing a doe. They were way out there. That kind of surprised me because I was out there. I had all those does. That's where I had all those does come in on me last week, and I thought it was going to be better than it was. I scouted around after I got down. Didn't even find a lot of sign. I mean, there are a few rubs and stuff around, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of activity back in there. And I'm not really excited to get back in there at the next opportunity. Might have to scout that a little better, see if I can't do something in there next season. And that's the way it goes out here on these public areas. You get out there and hunt. You got to re-scout. Sometimes it can take you a few seasons to put yourself in a position where you can take a deer or two off these public areas. That area back where I had that close encounter with that big forkhorn last week, I've been hunting back in there a couple years, and I've got starting to get an idea what's going on back in there, which really ticks me off it flooded like it did, because I can't get in there now that it's cold. It's a marshy area, and you go in there pre-dawn, busting ice, you're going to spook every deer out of there. So, it is what it is. I think I'm going to head up for the rest of this year's rut and hunt up on the little private property we got. Michael self-filmed himself shooting his first deer ever. His first one he self-filmed. Got an 8-point up there. And I was hunting up there a few days later, and I saw a right nice buck chasing a doe that's over on the neighbor's property, but he's around. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be my best bet for the rest of this year's rut. And then this weekend, Michael and I are going to be up in that marsh where that big Forky lives, but hopefully it hasn't frozen up so bad that those wood ducks got pushed out of there. We're going to go do a little duck hunting. The middle split opens this weekend, so we're going to give that a shot. We'll get those videos up just as soon as possible, and we hope to see you again real soon at www.camochairproductions.com.